Welcome. We will be presenting on Cabal. So we will see what is Cabal, what is Stack, and how to install these tools on our system, and how to use these tools to build a basic Cabal package. We will do so by giving a small basic example. With a small example. So before we go into Cabal, we first see what is a package manager. Package manager is a collection of software tools. Using these tools, the package manager manages the computer programs on the system. It manages the updation process, the installation, the uninstallation processes related to these softwares. As the name suggests, the package manager's job is to manage the packages on our system. It deals with packages, software distributions, and data in archive files. The package manager basically automates the process of installing, upgrading, configuring, uninstalling of computer programs on our system for our computer operating system. It does so because it does so in a consistent manner. It automates. By automating, we mean that whenever we try to install a new software or when we try to delete an old software, it automatically comes into work. It starts working. We always see whenever we try to delete or install a new program, then we see that our package manager is working behind the process. It automates the process. We don't have to do anything. We just have to click some buttons, and the package manager does all the remaining stuff. This is a basic package manager diagram. A package manager is basically, we can see that it acts like an intermediate agent before the user system and the repository. The repository contains of three major parts: packages, package dependencies, and metadata. Packages contain the main code, the main functionality. They implement the main functionality of the repository. Package dependencies are the required software so that our packages can work correctly. Metadata contains the information regarding the repository, contains the version number, the name of the software, and what packages, what softwares are required for our repository to work fine. That is, they store the package dependencies as well. Package manager helps to import or install or delete these repositories on our user system. So as we have already seen, packages contain metadata which store the software's name. They describe its purpose, the version number. They also contain the software dependencies that are necessary for the software to run properly. Package managers maintain a database of software dependencies and version information, and for doing so they work closely with software repositories and app stores. That is that they try to maintain the most recent version of the software that is being used by the community. It tries to update every time a new update comes out. Package manager notifies us that yes, there is a new update, we should update. So it's basically trying to maintain the latest version of a particular software that is being used in the community. It maintains the database of every software dependencies, means what softwares are required for a software to run properly on our system, and the version information of this particular software. And it also works closely with software repositories, binary repositories, and app stores, so that the database is updated and we use the latest version of the software every time. So why is package manager required? Package managers, they automate the installation and updation processes. We can see that in this era we every time we use thousands, many hundred, basically if not thousands, we at least use hundreds of softwares on our on different systems like our phone, mobile phone, or our laptop, PCs, and the updates are fairly regular. And many of the softwares are not very simple, like our operating systems, or like our heavy engineering softwares like the AutoCAD, and also the games we play like PUBG. All these softwares, they are quite big, and there are intricate software dependencies, and there are intricate connections, intermediate connections between the files inside. So whenever if otherwise we manually try to update the program, update the software whenever a new update came, then I think many of us will, in the first point, many of us will not be able to do it straight away. And if somebody is able to do it, will still take quite a lot of time, and we cannot guarantee that after that it works correctly, the software. So from all this trouble we are saved. Package manager comes in handy here. It automates all the installation, updation, processes, and it eliminates the need for manual installs and updates. So let's dive into Cabal. Cabal stands for Common Architecture for Building Applications and Libraries. Cabal is a standard package for Haskell software. By using Cabal and the tools along with it, we can build packages, we can distribute packages, and we can create projects, etc. For working with Cabal packages, there is a command line tool called Cabal with the same name. Cabal helps with installing existing packages, and it helps developers in developing their own packages. So if we try to install already existing packages on our system, we have already done using Linux, that using the terminal, that if we try to install some software, already existing software, we do so using the terminal. Cabal is basically similar. So, and it also helps developers to develop their own packages. Cabal is already configured to use Hackage. Hackage is basically Haskell's central package archive. It contains thousands and thousands of libraries and applications already written, already built by developers in Cabal package format. Cabal packages. So what are Cabal packages? Basically, Cabal packages are packages with source Cabal, that use Cabal, that are built using Cabal. They are called Cabal packages. Single Cabal package is the unit of distribution. It means that the smallest thing, distributable thing, portable thing that you can create using Cabal is a Cabal package. Every Cabal package has a name and it has a version number. We can see from the example, understand from the example that, say for example, if our file's name is test file -1.0, then test file is the name and 1.0 is the version number. Cabal packages, as we have already seen, Cabal packages like other softwares can depend on other Cabal packages. Tools like Cabal help in automated package management. So we're basically using them interchangeably, one in whole. That is, we are using that command line. We can use the command line tool Cabal to automate the package management process of Cabal packages. Like we use terminal to automate the package management process of the new softwares or the old softwares that we try to install and uninstall on our Linux systems. This all means there is a modular installation, creation and management process. That is, say for example, person A and person B create some files, Cabal packages, and say for file A and file B, and person C wants to use those two files. Then he just writes his own, just builds his own Cabal package, his own file, and then he uses those other two files to further further his target, or further his the functionality of his file. So what the new changes that are made are only made in his own file. No changes are made in the file that he has taken from person A and person B. So we can see that there is a modularity here. So there is a modularity, there is some inheritance here. So this all is made possible by Cabal. And when Cabal package is distributed, there is standard format used. We use the file extension .tar.gz. We can see the example. If that test file -1.0.tar.gz, in this file, if it exists, can be distributed. The Cabal packages themselves are not part of Haskell language. Basically, they are the features. They are the resultants of the combination of Cabal and GSC. GSC is standard Haskell compiler, and using Cabal and GSC, we can create Cabal packages. So, what a Cabal package consists? Basically, it consists of Haskell software. Basically, the software part that is written using Haskell, including libraries, executable steps. It contains metadata. Metadata, as we have already seen, it stores the version number, the purpose of the software, and name of the software, and what the software depends on, or otherwise, or else we can write software dependencies. It does so in standard human and machine readable format. The .cabal file extension is used to store the metadata. And Cabal package also consists of standard interface to build the package. For example, the setup.html file, which we can use to build our Cabal package. Now, the .cabal file contains information about the package supplied by the package author. Basically, since the Cabal file is used to build the metadata file, and we already know that what metadata contains, so that hence the statement. Typically, metadata also contains a list of other Cabal packages. Basically, it stores the dependencies of the package that we are trying to build. Now, Cabal can be used for both local packages and packages available on remote servers or remote systems. We can extract using Cabal over the network or from our local directories. In here we have given an example that say for example we try to install Mark1, then we change the directory. First we change the directory to Mark1, and then we write Cabal install. It's all similar to our Linux command line. So developers can use the tool with packages in local directories. It is also possible to install several local packages at once. So as we see, say for example, we have Mark1, Mark2, and we try to install them in one go. Then we can write Cabal install Mark1 / and Mark2 /. Developers and users other than default package, Cabal can be used with other suitable archives as well. Package is the default Haskell archive that is already there. We can already use package, but it can also be used with other suitable archives. So for example, by writing Cabal install Xmonad, we can install Xmonad on our system. In addition to packages that have been published in an archive, developers can install packages from local or remote tarball files. That means that if we try to install some software we have already seen this in Linux, that if we try to install some already built software, then we download it. Then we sometimes download it in .tar format. So similarly here, Cabal also can help us install those files that are developed by somebody else. We can install it by using the same command, Cabal install, and the name of the file. We can also install files that are present on websites or on different servers of remote PCs by using the same command line, Cabal install, same command, Cabal install, the website's name / and the file's name that we trying to install. Like Cabal, actually Cabal is not the only tool for working with Cabal packages. There are several other packages tools also. Something about Cabal feature set. Cabal, as we have already seen, Cabal contains a software building system, software configuring system, and it also helps to whatever software we have written tries to with using Cabal we can convert into package that it is for distribution is can be so that the package can be distributed. And Cabal can also be used to automate package management. As we have already seen, Cabal is basically package manager for Haskell, so it helps in automating package management. And as we have already seen, local and web or remote Cabal package archives or Cabal files we can install on our systems by using command line Cabal.
Okay, so now we will be installing Cabal and Stack on Ubuntu. Since I don't have Ubuntu, I'll be using an emulator. For installing Cabal, first we will need to write this command into the command line so that we get the latest repository. Right. Then to install, we'll write the following command. So Cabal is installed now. Now to install Stack, we write the following command. It also works on Mac. Uh, since it's already installed, you write this command to install it. I can show it. So I removed Stack to show how it goes.
Let's see how to create a package using Stack. You first start by creating a new project using LL command. Stack new and our project name new pkg. This downloads a default template and asks for the details of the author and the project. We can change them in the YAML file inside our package. It also creates a subdirectory with our project name which contains all the files of our package. Let's see what's inside that folder. Here the .cabal and package.yml contains the metadata and the settings of our project, and the stack.yml file contains a snapshot which defines the compiler version to be used and other details. And the app folder here contains our main function, and the source folder contains our libraries. Now let's see the contents of the package.yml file. Here you can edit the author details and also add description for the package. Here in the library stanza, it points to the directory of our library, and also when you build our project, an executable file is generated which is equal to running the main.cs file using GHCI. And also if we are using any external packages by importing them to our main and library codes, then we must write them under the dependencies here to tell the stack the location from where we are importing them. And also this test stanza, it is here to test your package. You can write the test code in the spec.cs file inside the test directory, and we can test the project to see if it is working correctly or not. Now let's go back and see the contents of the main and library files. Here we can see main is importing our library called lib, and it's of the type input output, and it is calling a function called SumFunc, which should be defined in our library. So let's go back to our library. This is our library file, and we can see SumFunc is defined here, and it is just printing a string called SumFunc. Let us edit this and make it do something else. We will print the word Haskell here. Now we save it and go back. Now to check if everything needed for our package is downloaded and it is working correctly, we should run the command called stack setup. Here we can see it doesn't show any errors and we are good to go. So we'll build our project using stack build. It compiles and creates an executable file called newpackage.exe, and if we run this file, you can see the output of our function defined in the main. Now another way to execute this file is by using the command stack exit and our file name newpackage.exe. It also does the same thing and outputs Haskell. Now you can also load your project using GHCI by running the command stack GHCI. It is opened in GHCI and it has imported the library lib. Now the function we defined in main is called SumFunc. So let us call SumFunc and see what it is. The output Haskell. So that is it. To show it once again, we create a package using stack in the following way. We create a new project and we go to the directory of the project and make our changes in the main and library file. We add as many functions as we want in the library file and change the main file. And also if you are using any external packages, you must add them in the YML file, package.yml file, and you set up and build your package and you can execute the project.
Okay, hey guys. So now we are going to look at how do you create your own Haskell libraries, export your own stack projects, so that you can reuse them later, or you can share them online on GitHub and etc. Okay, so let's look at a typical stack project. So it looks something like this, right? So with the app, with your app folder, source folder, your test folder, then we have your package.yml file, and your stack.yml file. That's your snapshot. And then we have the cabal file for the project, right? So if you're creating a third-party library, so then you do not need an app folder. So basically what your app folder has, so it has your main function, right? So if your project is going to act as a third-party library, then you do not need a main function, right? Because you are going to just use it as a plugin, kind of, right? And you cannot, and if you import this project, if you import this project into another project, then that's going to be a problem. That's going to you're going to get an error, because you cannot have two mains for a program. There should be only one main that should be there. Okay, one main that is exposed, right? Because for any program there should be only one entry point. Okay, so so you need to remove your main function. So I have so let's consider this stack project, new pkg, and I've removed the other folders. Okay, so what you would need to do is so I've removed the app folder, I've removed the test folder. You may keep the test folder if you are thinking of doing unit testing and such, because so in this case I've just removed it. So what you need to do is apart from that, you would also need to go to your cabal files. Okay, a cabal file of the project. So here you see library module. Then after library, there used to be something called as executables. So this part is something that you need to remove. And you also had something called as test suites, right? So this generally came with your the default template that you created with stack, right? So with this default template, these executable and test suite also came, so you would need to remove them. Then apart from that, you would also need to go to package.yml, and here also there used to be something called executable and tests, which you would need to remove. Okay, so done. So yeah, so let's get back to the code. So we have a library function. I'm just using the function that was that came with along with the default stack project. So there's a function sumfunc that just prints do nothing onto the a terminal. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, let's go to terminal. Let's do a stack build. Okay, so stack gHCI. So yeah, so so this is your project and this is the library. So let's so sumfunc, yeah, and it has printed to nothing. So the function is working, your library is working. So we are done with your library. You have you have built your library, your stack project. Now you have to import. Now you want to import this in some other project. Okay, so let's so I've created another project called as hello world. Okay, so let me go here. Let's close this. Yeah, so hello world also has so I have another function here called as hello fn, this function just prints hello IIT Go on the terminal. Okay, so what you would need to do here is, so this is your project, this has a main function, um, uh, and you would need this main function because this should be your first program that is going to be run, your main application, and then you would need then you will call your other project. Okay, so you need to go to stack YAML. Okay, so here there is a field here called packages. Okay, uh, so the first entry is the current project. Okay, that means it will go from the current directory, that is this one, and it will check for stack and cabal files. Okay, and then go to the other folders. Okay, um, so now the second package that I have mentioned here is /home/ubuntu/haskell/new package. This new package is the one that we have just created. We have just made it into a library that had just one function that printed do nothing, right? So if you go here, so this hello world is going to be your main application, and your new package is a stack project that just has you can treat it as a third-party library that you are going to use in your hello world project. So you need to add it in your package. Okay, now let's do a stack build. Okay, so uh, let's see whether it is built properly. Okay, so your stack project has been built. So let's so if you I'm running GHCI for this stack project. So if you see here, we have two libraries here, lib and lib new package, right? So lib is the module that is there from your current project in hello world, and lib new package is what you imported from new package project. So if you go here, new package, so you can see a new lib new package, right? So this is what you have imported from there. Okay, so now let's see whether it's working. Okay, so yeah, the function was hello FM, that is hello IIT Goa. So it is correctly run the function. This function is from the current project. Now let's see the function from the other project can run. So yes, so it has also correctly run, and you have printed do nothing. Okay, now I want to show you a trick wherein you may not have the project along with you. People may you may either upload it on GitHub, or you may ask you may reuse someone else's stack projects that are already there on any Git repository, right? Either GitHub or any other Git repositories. Okay, I have created uh, Git repository. Okay, so functional programming Haskell. Okay, and then there is a folder that I have created, my utilities. Okay, so this my utilities folder is having is a stack project. Okay, so if you notice here, there is no main folder and all, right? So I have just created this to be run as a library. Okay, as a third-party library. So I have a library here named libutilities. Okay, and here I have some functions like factorial, average, head, and some functions. Okay, So I want to reuse all these functions in my project, in my stack project, in my Haskell stack project, right? So what you need to do is you take the git URL and the commit number. If the latest commit number will be here, okay. So this will be your latest commit number, or you can take a previous commit number depending on what you want to do. Maybe you have updated something this month and you want to run something that is to work last month. Then all you need to do is just put the commit number. So in this case I'm taking the latest commit number, okay, and let me close this one. Okay, so here I am going to stack.yml, okay. So previously in older versions of stack you had to put them in packages, okay. So now you put them in extra dependencies. So this project is still having still linked is still importing from new pkg library and also from this git repository, and here I am mentioning the subdirectories, okay. So what I'm saying is my utilities folder, go to my utilities folder, and this one has is having the stack project, okay. This is the git commit number, okay. So apart from this, you would also need to go to package.yml, okay. So you would need to add the dependency here in your executable, because you're going to run this code, right? If you want to package this hello world as proxy library, then you would need to add the dependency here. So what I mean is an indirect library. So someone will access hello world, and then hello world will access the GitHub repo or some other repo, okay. So go to the cabal file, okay. So this is not generally this is done automatically, but sometimes it may create some problems. So it's always good to run a build and then check this. If it is not there, then you put it in the build depends for the executable, okay. Yeah, so your project configuration is done, that's it. So yeah, so if you see it said new package.cabal was modified manually, okay, ignoring that. So please remember, if you're using stack, don't modify the cabal files, okay. But I have done that because just to be sure, okay. So stack GHCI, okay. So if you see here, it has imported lib, it has imported lib new package. So where's the GitHub repository? So you can import it, okay. Lib, yeah. So this project, hello world project, has lib library, that is your current library, the library that is present in your project. This is from a project that is there on your local machine, and this is the project that is libraries that is there in your GitHub repository, okay. So let's see what are the functions here. So yeah, so here we have your factorial function. Let's see where the factorial is working, okay. So factorial 5 is 120, right? So yeah, that's how you would export your stack projects, right?
So okay, now I will tell you how to make submodules within a library. So basically submodules are made for the main modules of library, and these are created when you don't want to expose your submodules for the other libraries. So let's learn how to make the submodules. For that I will create one cabal package with the help of tool called stack new, it will be name as new module. So this will create new Cabal package. So let's check what is there. So our package is created. Now we will enter in that package. Okay, so okay, just open this. So in our source folder, so this is our package. In the source folder there is a file called libhs, which is our main module, and we can and like I will show you that file. This is our main module, which contains the functions sum func. Okay, only one function. So if I want to create one other sub modules, just create one more file. Let's say as sub module. Okay, so our file is been created, sub module. Oh, submodule.hs. So sorry to rename it .hs. Okay, I have renamed it. So now I will write one functions here. So for that I will write module sub mod where. So I will create one simple function known as increment, which takes int as input, variable of type input, and will return an integer. Okay, so increment x, which will return as x plus 1. Okay, so now if this is our, now we have created our sub module. So if you want to use this sub module in the main module, so for that what you do, you import this in this main module. So for that just delete this this sum func in brackets, because it will lead, if you didn't delete it, it will lead to an error. Okay, so now import the sub module. Okay, now I will create one more function in order to use the function of sub module. Okay, to check whether it is properly importing the functions of sub module. So for that I am creating another new function which takes int and returns an integer. New function x. So basically I am applying increment, this increment function from the sub module. Okay, after that I am incrementing again by 2. So now I have imported the sub module and have also used the function of the sub module. So but there is one more thing you have to do, that for using this sub module you have to modify your .cabal file. So for that open this .cabal file, and in library section and in this in that other module sections, write the name of your sub module. So it is sub module. Okay, so now you can use the sub module in your main module. So now we will see whether it is working or not. So I will first set up. Okay, and then I will build the package, Cabal package, using tool called stack. So for that type this command stack.build. Okay, so it has been built properly. Now we will check whether it is working properly or not by running it. Okay, so it has imported the main module lib and the sub module also. Like we have created two modules, lib.hs and submodule.hs. So we will check. Our first function was, we will check whether the function of sub module is working or not. So that is increment x. So increment 5 should return me 6, so it is returning 6. So now we will check the function of main module. So it was new f. Okay, so new f should return me of 5 should return me 5 plus 1 6 plus 2 8. So yeah, it is working. So in this way we can write sub modules within our module. And after writing this package, you can share this package with your users which users which you wants your package. Or also you can, there is a website called Stackage. Here this is called the website called Stackage. You can upload your package on this website so the other users who wants your package can use it. So for that you have to just click on this link, and here they have told the procedure of how to upload your package. So after uploading, the users can download and install your package and they can use it. And also there are already available packages which are posted by other maintainers, which you can download and install in your system, in your machine, and you can use it just by importing that package. So I will show you the packages. So these are the list of packages with their names and their descriptions. You can download this and install in your machine. So I will give you one example, like how to install the package. Okay, so let's say I have to install this package AC angle, which is a package regarding angles in degrees and radians. So just type command stack install and Cabal package name, that is AC angle. Just copy this and paste this. Okay, so this will install the package in your machine, and you can use this package just by importing this package in your file and using these functions. So at last, this is how the Cabal is used for making packages, and in that you can how you can write modules in the libraries, and how we can make executables so that we can share with other users. So okay, thank you for watching this video.